I just want to tell about the religion, right, the Jehovah's Witnesses, because it is so bad, like, the more I'm thinking about it. Anyway, obviously I was born into it, and I got a lot of beatings from my mum and locked in my room a lot, and wasn't allowed to even stay home at lunchtime a lot of the time from school, because it took us 25 minutes to get home and 25 minutes back, so we literally had 5 minutes in the house. Because we weren't allowed to have outside influences, because everybody outside the Jehovah's Witnesses was called evil, because they didn't worship the witnesses, right? So anyway, after being taken into the woods by my brother and being molested by some prick from the watchtower, right? I was my day after that, I can't remember, 7 to 10 years old, and I didn't express it too much, but I think I was inside myself, I was getting a bit stronger, but I stayed quiet. Anyway, I was 13 or 14, I was in school, and a guy in school gave me a plastic ring, or left it on my desk or something like that, and that had never ever happened to me before, right? And by this time I had another friend, she was a Turkish girl, and I was allowed to see her because she wasn't allowed out either, and her family were dead strict, so she wasn't a bad influence on me. So when I got a bit older, I was allowed to stay out at lunchtime and to go to her house. So anyway, one day, this ring, so I forgot that I'd put it in my jacket pocket, and when I went to the meeting, I threw it in the bin when I was talking to another Jehovah's Witness girl, because I just threw it in the bin. And then there was an announcement at that meeting, there has been a ring found. It is plastic, it is a little bit gold on the left and a little bit gold on the right, and I'll hold it up for everyone to see, like this. And I was thinking, it's plastic, why are they... And I laughed, and my friend turned around and looked at me, and we both laughed at each other, but very discreetly, because you can't laugh too much. And my mum grabbed me by the back of the neck, and she dragged me outside the Kingdom Hall, and she shouted to my dad to bring the car keys, and she pushed me down the Kingdom Hall stairs, right? She didn't even, like, I wasn't even allowed to say what it was, my ring, I put it in the bin, nothing, absolutely, there was no conversation between me and her at all, not a word did she say, right? Threw me down the stairs, and I only had this wee white polka dot dress on, wee summer dress, and so all the way home, she didn't speak, and John had to come back and pick up the other kids who were left in the Kingdom Hall, because the meeting was still on. She took me out right at the beginning of the meeting, or the middle of it, right? Then she just came into the house, locked me in the house, and she smashed a chair against the wall, and she just beat fuck out of me with this chair, right? And then I thought, maybe she's not well, because she wasn't communicating with me. I thought maybe she's not well, but the rage inside her was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, and I thought it's because I giggled. I thought it's nothing to do with the ring, it's because I giggled. But I've giggled, we all giggle sometimes. She'll giggle with me about somebody farting, or, you know. So I could not get it into my mind what was going on. But anyway, she threw me out of the house, and she said, don't ever come back. And when I ran down the stairs, there was a police van driving by, and I waved them down. And I goes, my mum's, I've got nowhere to stay, she's just thrown me out of the house. And I've never been outside in the streets in my whole life, you know, because I was a Jehovah's Witness. And I had a wee Saturday job, and anyway, the police said, we've got to take you back up because you're under 16. As soon as they took me back up, my mum was like Miss Hannigan out of Annie, leaning against the door all flirty with the policeman. They said, we're bringing you back your daughter, she's underage, she has to be in the house. And they said, I don't want her back. No, she didn't say it to them. She just said, all right then, it was just a little tiff, go in your room. And I said, I grabbed my leg and pulled my leg up. I said, a little tiff. I was bleeding from head to toe. Well, not bleeding, but you know the kind of bruises you get from a chair leg. It's like the exact same size as a chair leg, and it was raised up like an inch. And she was hitting me anywhere, face, neck, anywhere. She wasn't caring. And so anyway, the police came, and then the police went away, and they said to her, it's not just a little tiff, we're having to make a social work report about this. Is there any other children in the property? So they took a note of Timothy McFadden, and we were both put in a child abuse register risk, right? Then, as soon as the police left, she grabbed me by the hair and flung me down the stairs and says, don't ever come back into this house. And she says, take every bit of clothing you've got. So I took the 4 fucking meeting dresses I had, and that was it. Anyway. So I went to stay with a the only place I knew to go was to my Saturday job, my boss, and they were so kind and took me in. Cut a long story short, I was on the streets for about a year, right? And just farting about with friends, staying overnight with school friends through the whole summer. Everybody was so accommodating. A lot of people were hiding me, you know, from their parents. I was sleeping under their beds and stuff like this. But it was the best year of my life in a way, because I got first taste of freedom. Anyway, I met, I was chilling somewhere, and another Jehovah's Witness woman who I was brought up with, Isaac's mum, the guy that died, his brother, came into this place and said, "You can't be near this girl. She's ours." Like this, she's been brought up well, you can't have her. And said, and he took me away from there and said, "You come and stay with me and my wife, and you can babysit for our daughter Nadine, and you can go to work in the video shop." So that's what I was doing. I stayed with them. His wife was just so lovely to me, like so sweet to me. Anyway, one day I got the flu and his wife was like, "Oh, your mum's coming to see you. I have to put you in my bed." And I was like, what? I'm not well. Leave me here. She's like, no, you need to be in my room. That room's too small. Your mum's coming, as if the Queen was fucking coming, right? And inside myself, I was thinking, why? I was like, she obviously doesn't know my mum, because my mum hates me. She wouldn't care if she put me in a fucking hovel, right? Because when I tried to go back to my mum's, literally 3, 4 in the morning, John would come down the stairs and say, "Get away from the front of the stairs." You know, so I was begging to go back and they wouldn't take me back. So I was shocked, like, oh, she doesn't know them. Anyway, my mum comes in acting all like she's fucking worried about me, right? "Oh, my daughter. And I was looking at her like, "Is this you?" And she was looking at me like, pretend that I always act like this. You know, she was still thinking I was under her control, or I obviously was, or whatever. I didn't give a fuck. Anyway, the funny thing about it was, like, it was only when other people would pick me up that they would want me, so that I would be thrown down again. You know, she said to me, "If you get yourself a job and a house, we'll take you back home." And my social worker's like, "Your mum said what? You have to get a job and a house and she'll take you back home." And there was a Jewish lady, she was lovely to me, and she said, "It's your mum's religion, and your mum and your stepdad, they're not nice people." And I was defending them, saying, no, it's just a strict religion, Jehovah expects it, and blah, 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 because that's what they were telling me. Anyway, yeah, so it just seems that every time, so I got myself a job, and I got myself a house, and she still didn't take me home. You know, what I'm saying is, there's been a lot of games going on, you know, and I know all of my family are listening, every single one of you, and your friends, and their friends, and all the people who used to know me. I know you're all listening, and so many of you played a part in this big, let's keep her shut up and abused. But I'm telling you right now, I do believe in karma.